Hi, this is Laura from LiveVisions.com, and this video is about everything Gemini. Whether you have your Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, or Mars in Gemini, this video is for you, even Gemini Ascendant. So, if you're not sure exactly where you have your planets, you can go to my calculator on my website. There's a big icon on the top of the screen right there that says calculators. However, I must admit sometimes my calculator goes on the fritz. It's from Astro Theme, and sometimes it shows up in French. So I would say I'm going to get a new calculator eventually. But in the meantime, go to astro.com, astro.com, and go to their birth chart calculator, and you will be able to find your planetary placements to follow along in these videos that I'm doing. Okay? So Gemini, whether you're a Sun or Ascendant in Gemini, I will say that you guys are very, from a young age, pretty smart children. You know, communication is going to be the theme through your life. You could have picked up on speaking early, talking early as a child, and learning could come easy to you as a child. When it comes to speaking, you know, this is unless you're, you know, as long as this is not a 12th house place, Mercury or Sun or something, I would say that you guys would communicate early, or unless you're, you know, Mercury's afflicted or something. But for the most part, most Geminis tend to speak early. Their whole thing is communication, and school tends to come easy to them. Learning comes easy. They're very inquisitive. They want to learn, and a lot of them go far in school. And if you don't go far in school, some of them are just self-taught. You know, they just love learning many things, and they're very inquisitive, and they get bored super easy. Children may like electronic toys, phones, gadgets, and I know that's mostly every kid now. However, these people can excel with computers and technology because they're ruled by Mercury. They just have that mind and that sense for it. One thing with this sign, Gemini and Virgo, because they are ruled by Mercury, every time Mercury goes retrograde, they can fumble with their words, or there could be miscommunications, or emails aren't sent, or technology can go haywire, and a vehicle, you know, may have to get it checked here and there. But because we're really, well, I'm my Virgo ascendant, so we're all ruled by Mercury, Geminis and Virgos, Sun or ascendants especially. You know, you're going to feel it. So be aware of that. And right now this is a Mercury retrograde, and I did this video 3 times. So anyway, yeah. So for the most part, you guys are extremely intelligent people. Get bored really easy. Your erogenous zone is your brain. So in dating, if you want to meet someone, if the lights are on with that person but nobody's home, you're not interested. I mean, you may go out with them a couple times, but that's it. Another thing that was a little bit of a thing with Gemini, it's maybe hard for you to make up your mind. You could be a little bit fickle sometimes, you know, because it's like, I like a little bit of this and a little bit of that, you know. So you know, that could be it as well. But this is easy. This is nice though too, because you are a mutable sign, and you could be open to change. You're more open than the other signs, other than a fixed sign, to, you know, changing some things. So if somebody said, well, you know that you do this, and you're like, wow, I didn't know that. Well, I'll work on that. You know, Gemini is very, you know, I want to say open to new possibilities and, you know, things like this. So they're very changeable sign. Which brings me to, let's talk a little bit about, and just so you know, these are very intelligent people. They're very witty. They know exactly how to read people. They know what to say, what not to say. They know how to bring the conversation. Like they know there's a time and a place for humor. There's a time and a place for business. They know exactly how to talk in what situation and how to play it with different people. Okay, they're kind of chameleons in that way. So Gemini is very, I want to say, there's certain other placements, and we'll get into that in the video, that really good at sales, really good at some Geminis can be serial daters, dating more than one person at a time, because they're like, oh, I can be Mr., you know, intellectual, and I could also be Mr. Funny, and then I could be Mr. Party Guy, and then, you know, so they wear different shirts sometimes depending on who they're with. Okay, they're very good and very chameleonic like that. and which is why they're very good at sales. But these people, I want to say, highly intellectual, get bored easy. If you're wanting to get a Gemini to settle down, their erogenous zone is their brain. So you really need to be intellectual, and you really need to kind of keep them on their toes a little bit, you know. The only downfall, I would say, with Gemini, like in a relationship, and we'll get on into this more when we talk about Venus and Mars and stuff like that, is they can self-sabotage sometimes because the relationship could get to that point where things are getting really serious and Gemini's like, okay, this is when I get bored and I have to leave, you know, because it's like, oh, it's getting too routine. It's not exciting. They love the chase. You know, the beginning part of that relationship, they love the beginning parts, you know. So that's sometimes, but if they meet a person who's kind of like them and keeps them on their toes, this could work. You know, a lot of Gemini and Aries tend to hook up, you know, other air signs too, but I know a lot of Geminis and Aries who kind of hook up a little bit because Aries tends to get in things quickly and wants to get out quickly, and that may make Gemini go, wait a minute, you know, wait, no, I really do like you, you know, but they can date one person, and if you're really wanting a Gemini to settle down, keep them on their toes, number one. Don't make it easy, I want to say, because sometimes they like the chase, you know. And you have to be extremely intelligent, intellectual type of person, and very witty with banter, very quick with conversation and knowing what to say. And Gemini knows a lot about many things. So their whole thing throughout their life, they're always learning. And if they don't know, they'll investigate, they'll research. You know, they don't mind that. They love studying and learning, and school could have been fun for them. These people like grasp things easy. And if school wasn't fun for them, it's because it was so boring, because it was like sometimes they're so intellectual that it's like they could be more advanced for their age at that time. So maybe the class was boring because it's like, I already know this stuff, you know. But extremely smart people. I know a few doctors, friends of mine, who are Geminis, very intellectual people. So, all right, so let's go with the, I'm going to do a little timestamp because you guys requested it. We're going to go with the Gemini moon. So those of you who have a Gemini moon, I will say to you that the way you handle your emotions is you're very communicative. You need to talk about your feelings, you know. If there's a problem, you're really probably good at finding a way out, figuring out a solution. But one thing with the Gemini moon is you could be fickle, like, oh, I changed my mind, I don't know. You know, you could do that sometimes too, okay? With the men, I would say that your future wife represents Gemini if you have a moon in Gemini. And this means that you're wanting a woman, you're going to probably marry a woman who's very communicative, intellectual. She knows a lot about many things. She's very witty, you know. So this is a very good communicator. Your wife would be smart, intelligent, communicative, all of that. And then, you know, definitely be quick with verbal banter. Okay. If you have a Gemini moon also, the moon represents your mother. Your mom could be intellectual, very smart, very witty. She could be quick with verbal banter, you know. She could be changeable too. Like maybe she's, you know, like changing her mind or whatever, says one thing, maybe does something else sometimes, you know. That could be with Gemini moon. And for the most part, I want to say, you know, Gemini moons can change their mind a lot. Well, I felt that way this week, but next week I feel this way. You know, they can do that. So just saying, don't shoot the messenger. Okay, so now we're going to Gemini Mercury. So if you have Gemini in Mercury, you are a very good salesperson, okay? You are the one who could sweet talk any person. I mean, they're just so good at reading people, let me tell you. This is the guy or girl who says, okay, I can tell this person is spiritual and, you know, totally, you know, needing a spiritual person to date, and I can totally be that person for her, you know, or I can tell this is a party person, I can totally be crazy and wild and have a great time, and oh my God, I'm going to show that side with this person. They can read people, and they know how to be with certain people. Like, you know, you could be dating a Gemini and some other girl dated him and she could say, oh my God, well, he wasn't that way with me. Well, yeah, because she wasn't maybe, you know, she's a different person. So they're very good at reading, and they're very changeable. They're very mutable type of people. They're very chameleon-like, you know. So these people are great with sales, extremely witty, extremely good talkers. I want to say verbal banter is just, I mean, in a way, this could be fun, you know. Well, I'm a Virgo ascendant, so maybe that's why I would think it's fun. But, you know, this could be somebody who's extremely interesting to talk to, and they may know a lot about many different things, you know. And there's never probably a lull in conversation. They probably know what to say, and if there's like a little quiet moment, they know how to fill that space. But in order to keep this person interested, let me just say, if you go on a date with a Gemini Mercury, you're probably not going to be bored. But if they're on a date with someone where it's like pulling teeth to talk to them, I mean, they can keep the date going where there's no really lulls in conversation because they know how to work it. They know what to say and when. But they may not want to go back out with that person again because they need, you know, they want that verbal banter probably back. They like to be, you know, they like communication. And this is a very intellectual person, you know. So that definitely is Gemini in Mercury. Okay. So now we are going to go with Gemini. We should do Venus, but I like doing Mars first. So Gemini Mars. First of all, this is a person's energy whether you're male or female. Okay? Whether you are male or female, this makes your energy, well, this is a very sexual energy, very much so. So especially if you're a guy, you know, if you're a guy, your Mars is in Gemini, you have a very high sexual libido. And people with this placement could date more than one person at a time because they may like, oh, but I like this one, and you know, and they get bored so easy. So it's like, especially their energy needs a lot of, you know, going here, going there, doing this, doing that. And it's almost like when it comes to dating, you know, they do get bored so easy and they have such a high sexual libido that they may date more than one person, let's just put it that way. And their energy themselves, they may just be like, well, it may be hard for them to decide, well, I like this person because she's sensitive, and I like this person because she's funny, or I like this guy because he's so witty. And, you know, they may have a different reason for they like different people, and they may be like, oh, well, I don't, you know. So in order to get your Gemini to settle down, like I said, you're really going to want to be witty, intelligent, and match them mentally and verbally in communication, and keep them on their toes. So let's go with women. Women who have Gemini in Mars, this is the type of guy you're attracted to, okay? You are attracted to the type of man who is very sexual. This person is also extremely smart, witty, knows what to say, what not to say. You know, this person is super communicative. I would say this person may like going here and there. They may not like being in one spot, you know, so maybe you like doing little errands with them and things like this. This would be somebody who knows a lot about many things. So for you, I would say this person is very intellectual, you know. So this is the type of person that you're drawn to as a woman, okay? And whether you're male or female, it could be hard for you to decide. And, you know, if a girl, she has her Mars here and she's dating a guy and he has a hard time making up his mind in a relationship, she could be the same way in some ways. You know what I mean? Because they always say relationships are like a mirror to ourselves. And Mars is your energy, but yet you're also attracted to, what a woman is attracted to is also her Mars. So you're attracted to sometimes energy that you're putting out, okay? So if you're fickle in relationships and you don't want a fickle guy, then you got to look at that. So anyway, I will say for the most part, though, this is, and the way Gemini men flirt, it's just Mars and Gemini is the way a guy flirts too. And the way they flirt is they show that they're smart. They show they're witty. They show that, oh my gosh, like, it's kind of like that guy who's just totally smooth. Like, they can go somewhere and it's like they know what to do, how to act, and, you know, that's Gemini. That really is. And they're going to show that they know a lot about many things and that they're fun to talk to. And trust me, you know, I get a lot of calls, so I would say a lot of women get totally taken by Geminis. They really do. And it's like, oh, but he's, you know, dating someone else too. And, you know, a lot of Geminis can be upfront with that they're dating more than one person, but some of them aren't, so you got to watch that. Especially, I will say, this year, and this is, I don't know when you're watching this video, but this is 2015. This is October. So, yeah, Saturn in the 7th with you guys. So you guys have to watch about relationships being honest and upfront. Okay, so let's do Venus now. We are on to Venus in relationships. So if you have Gemini in Venus, I will say if you're a man, this is what you're drawn to. And this woman would be very talkative, very communicative. This is very intellectual type of woman. She could also be very, you know, sexual. She could be very, you know, maybe it's hard for her to make up her mind on what she wants. With this person, I want to say there's no lull in communication. She's extremely smart, and this guy could be very attracted to her. This guy could be attracted to, with Venus and Gemini, if you're a man, you could be attracted to the girl because of the fact that she may not be easy to get. You know, she could be like, I'm not sure, you know, and maybe that's the draw, part of it. And also it could be she's really smart and intelligent and knows a lot about many things and, you know, secure, you know. A lot of Geminis are very secure, you know, or they come off that way. Anyway, and if you are a woman and you have your Venus in Gemini, you're going to show this. You're going to show that you're intelligent. You're going to show that, you know, you're witty, you're good at conversation, you're going to show maybe a fun side of you. You're going to show, and you may have this chameleon thing about you too. Like, oh yeah, I could be, you know, maybe, okay, this could be the draw too with Gemini. Maybe he takes you to a baseball game, and you're a girl who can wear, they can wear the baseball clothes and, you know, and kind of sporty, you know. And then he takes you to like a 5-star restaurant, and you're dressed to the nines, you know. And he's like, wow, this girl is just, she does everything. She's just, you know, some women aren't like that. Either like, don't ever give me gym shoes ever. And some women are like, I wear 3-inch heels all the time. I mean, you're very mutable though. So people with Gemini Venus women, you could be the type of girl who's like, yeah, you know, I'm pretty, you know, I like to do a lot of things. You know, he may say, oh, like you could be up for many things when it comes to, you know, having fun and things like this. Communication is surely your thing though, you know, and speaking of communication, the way that you would make money, people with Gemini in Venus, would be through media, journalism, accountants, account representatives, translators, writers. Through any kind of communication in general, you could make money, okay? Just giving you that information. Anyway, I hope this gives you guys some information, a little bit more about Gemini and whether you have your planets there and it was helpful to you. Please like, share, and subscribe if you do like the video. And if you want a reading, I'll put a link on the video. All right? Well, I'll talk to you soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.